Welcome back by popular demand. This is Addict MMA. I'm Derek Keeley, your host. This is UFC 116 fight card predictions breakdown. And yet again, the UFC doesn't fail us with another astonishing lineup of fighters. Starting off the evening with George Soteropoulos versus Kurt Pellegrino. I'm not a big fan of really either one of them per se. I mean, Kurt Pellegrino, I like. He's very well-rounded, kind of fun to watch fight. George Soteropoulos, on the other hand, I feel like he's a stronger athlete. I feel like he's got a better grappling ability. I think he's going to hit. He's going to hit hard. So if I have to give this fight to anybody, I think I'm going to give it to Soteropoulos based on technicality and his aggression. Krzysztof Szynski taking on Stephan Bonnar in a rematch from their first fight, which was an exciting fight that was on the prelim card but made it to the pay-per-view broadcast due to time restraints or whatever. So we got to watch that. This is a very appropriate rematch, and I can't wait to watch. I'm going to give this one to Stephan Bonnar. I think he wants this win. I think he's going to be aggressive, caution to the wind, as usual. I mean, Stephan Bonnar never disappoints, win, lose, or draw. He never disappoints. And Szynski, I don't like his attitude, but I like his style. And I think it's going to be an excellent fight. He's got a great chance of winning this one, too. But I'm going for Stephan Bonnar on this one. I think Stephan Bonnar is going to take the decision, probably a split decision. Chris Lytle's taking on Matt Brown. That's going to be like the equivalent to what we just watched on Strikeforce, Kung Lee versus Scott Smith. It's going to be a knockdown dragout. And it probably isn't going to last, much longer than their fight, maybe into the middle of the second round. I kind of see Chris Lytle taking this one. He's more powerful than Matt Brown. Matt Brown might be more well-versed on the ground, grappling-wise, but Chris Lytle's a very strong wrestler. I'm going to give it to him. I think this one's going to end in somebody going to sleep. And I'll just go ahead and say Chris Lytle's going to put Matt Brown to sleep, probably in the third round. Moving on to Yoshihiro Akiyama's taking on Chris Lee in a stand-in for Vanderlei Silva, as Vanderlei Silva's been injured. But this is very cool. I mean, Chris Lee looked great not too long ago here with a knockout victory, which was, most people over Aaron Simpson, everybody thought that, Simpson was going to beat Leben, and as it turned out, Leben gets the knockout victory. So I think the same thing is going to happen here with Akiyama. Akiyama's very, very well-rounded, but if you've seen his fight against Alan Belcher, he had a hard time with the stand-up, and the grappling, it was there, but it wasn't really there. It was kind of a stalemate fight. So being that Chris Leben has an underrated jiu-jitsu game, I think that definitely he's going to take the victory over Akiyama. I think that it's probably going to be also a TKO victory for Chris Leben. He usually ends his fights. I mean, it could be a submission. You don't know. But I think that Chris Leben's on a roll right now. I think he's going to take the TKO victory second or third round over Akiyama. Would suck for Akiyama being that he's, his next fight in the UFC, he definitely needs a win. But whatever, man. Chris Leben's on a roll. I think, after that steroid thing happened a couple years ago, he's kind of turned it around, and he's looking really good, and I'm excited to see him back. Chris Leben, definitely going to win the second or third round by knockout. I didn't take a whole lot of time to talk about the fight card because I really want to spend a little focus on the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Shane Carwin, because this is the clash of the titans, man. It's the biggest freaking fight, and I'm not talking like mainstream for the crowds to see biggest fight, money-wise. I'm talking like the two biggest athletes in the sport, two meanest, biggest dudes are going to go head-to-head. The real question is, can Shane Carwin knock out Brock Lesnar? Obviously a lot of us think he can. It's not impossible to knock somebody out. I mean, anybody can be beaten. Fedor just tapped out, so anything can happen. And this is the year of upsets. So a lot of people are thinking Shane Carwin may take this fight, but this is the way I see it. Brock Lesnar's had plenty of time to recuperate from his his sickness, his disease, his injury. And somebody asked me a very valid question. Well, how can he recuperate and be ready to fight? Well, you got to think. WWE, he was a champion. He used to wrestle. And those guys, they work nonstop, 48 weeks a year on the road with injuries. They have to nurse their injuries, work through their injuries, work out, train, and wrestle with those injuries. So this is nothing new to him. Brock Lesnar is accustomed to this lifestyle, and it's actually probably an easier lifestyle for him to recuperate it. So I think he's coming back 100%. There will be no ring rust there. I mean, keeping in mind that Shane Carwin's only fought as much as Brock Lesnar has over the last year and a half. So really, they're both taking the same amount of time outside of the ring. It just depends on, is Brock Lesnar fully healthy, and I think that he is. The differences in the grappling, obviously Shane Carwin, same credibility in wrestling, same background in wrestling. They wrestled at the same time, never got a chance to compete against each other in college. Now here they are on a bigger platform. Brock Lesnar's differences is he's not so much a grappler for submissions or positions. He will hold you down and put his big bare chest right on top of you, and he pins wrists. And when he pins wrists, you can't move your body. You can't get anywhere. You can't go where you need to go, and you can't get out of danger if you can't protect yourself because your wrists are pinned. Same thing he did to Frank Mir. Kind of the same stuff that he did to Heath Herring. I think that he's got the strength advantage coming into this fight, along with his mass body size. I think he's going to pin down Carwin because a couple of punches will be thrown, but Brock Lesnar will be in there and out of there so quick with a double leg. He moves like a lightning. So it's going to go to the ground. I think Carwin, after watching him grapple against Gonzaga, I'd have to say that good grappling, but with against the guy of power like Brock Lesnar, who has been training with Randy Couture for this fight, which is amazing because Randy Couture is going to give you tricks that nobody knows. He's a 30-year veteran of wrestling, so he's going to give him tricks that are going to be very, helpful in the Greco-Roman clinch game area against Jake Carwin. Carwin's very good in the clinch, as we've seen against Frank Mir. So, but if I had to call it, I'd call Brock Lesnar second round. So anyway, I know it's a shorter version of what I'm usually doing. I'm kind of working with some webcam stuff here, and I'm not sure how it's going to work out. My UFC 115 Rich Franklin Chuck Liddell video, as you guys saw, got kind of cut off at the end, and I don't know how that worked out that way. So I'm kind of working with webcam stuff right now. My main camera's been broken. It's been down, so kind of, jerry rigging the stuff, putting it on there for you. But anyway, hopefully this one doesn't get cut off at the end. We'll find out as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Derek Evil. This is Addict MMA. Peace. And I am out of here.